You know how much it costs to produce Jimmy Kimmel's show? I guarantee you it's tens and tens of millions. It could be as much as 100 million. I have no idea, but it's tens of millions of dollars to produce that show. You know how much Tucker's video cost? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know how much Jimmy Kimmel, how many people he gets tuning in on an average night? Just last week, his average was in the overall, meaning all viewers, 1.5 million. In the key demo, 236,000. Tucker would have been embarrassed to pull that on any night he was on the Fox News channel. That's what they're getting now with the APM that nobody's watching. Tucker's numbers were 3 times what Jimmy Kimmel gets. And Tucker's little basement video that he did from clearly like his cabin that he broadcasts out of Maine in, literally has 21 million views. Okay? 21 million views. Whereas, as I point out, on ABC, a massive network that comes into your home for free that you have to make no effort to find, at best, Jimmy Kimmel can get 1.5 million. So this guy, he needs to have a little self-perspective before going out there and hurling these insults because he looks a little silly.
Well, yeah, and I think, look, there's a couple things here, right? There's, on the one hand, there's obviously the jealousy, which I think you're getting at, which is that Tucker Carlson was able to create such a, now granted, Fox is a great platform and we would all admit that, but he became even a phenomenon within that realm and became such a big part of the national conversation. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is an unfunny comedian who was handed a big break, and instead of actually using a really phenomenal opportunity to entertain people, to bring people together and make them laugh, he became a low IQ political hack who also makes jokes sometimes. And it's kind of sad to watch, but that's what the guy who used to be, running around asking women inappropriate questions on the Man Show has become. It's not funny. I mean, I've tried occasionally to watch that. I'm just like, what happened to the late night comedy shows? By the way, Greg Gutfeld's show, crushing those shows. And I think it's because, a number of reasons. One of them is that Greg actually tries to be funny more than to please the political corporate masters that are demanding, constant attacks on Trump or something like that. So there's the vanity component of it, which is very common in media. And then also, I just think that there's, there's that you could say is actually jealousy. And then we can go to the vanity of they hate Tucker because he made fun of them. That's a big part of all this as well. Tucker was able to laugh at the elites and laugh at silly people in the media who are generally very overpaid, deeply unimpressive, lack gratitude for the fact that you go, the women of The View, the late night, comedian shows, like these are people, every host at MSNBC, these are people who are entirely replaceable, who are nasty and often lead very sad and selfish lives, and certainly aren't doing anything, I think, to benefit any political conversation in the country. It's just the most hackneyed talking points you could ever find. And instead of being grateful for the fact that they're paid these salaries and given these opportunities, it's like they just become increasingly bitter. And they have no sense of humor about themselves at all, you'll notice. And this is true of all totalitarians, by the way, but it's certainly true of what we used to call the mainstream media. We don't even notice that, Megyn, that term faded away. And I think it's because they're not the mainstream media really anymore, because the media has expanded so much and changed so much. So it's really a misnomer to call them the MSM. I sometimes will call them Democrat corporate media or, leftist corporate media, whatever. But I really do think that you'll notice they hate Tucker, right? I mean, they might have, I'm sure they were taking shots at you when you left Fox, but they hate Tucker in this literally like visceral way because he would openly and with his Tucker laugh mock them. And that is the sin that they shall never forgive. So it's weirdly personal for all of the people who are making these comments on TV about Tucker now that hate him so much.
It is.
And I think that's just a testament to his effectiveness. But we need more people that will mock these clowns.
Even the bit at the end where for the listening audience, Kimmel ended that bit by pulling off what he was suggesting was a toupee off of Tucker and showing a bald head. Tucker's hair is 100% real. And it shows... He does have great hair, but it just shows Kimmel's bitterness, his jealousy. You don't do that. Like, you can make fun of Tucker however you want, but like, why go personal? Why do that? Like, because he's jealous. It's coming out of his nostrils. He can't understand his success. He's reveling in the fact that Tucker's been pulled from Fox News. And talk about short-sighted. You just wait. You just wait until Tucker resurfaces. He will crush your numbers again. And you'll be just as bitter as you are now with just as few people watching. It's only a matter of time before this guy, Seth Meyers, gets pulled from the air. The only reason that they still have their hours, notwithstanding these dreadful ratings, is because there's still the hangover from Trump. They did their duty during Trump. They changed from comedy into political assassins, and there was a market from that. But at some point, these businesses need to make money, and it's not happening with Jimmy Kimmel.
I think that those late night political shows, it was actually sad. I mean, yeah, it's pathetic, but it's sad because for comedians, it's like they're making, hostage proof of life videos every night,
Yeah.
Comedians are supposed to be pushing boundaries, smashing sacred cows, doing things that are on that edge, and they became really like the conformist political Stasi. They were the ones that were the same tired Trump jokes every night, the same BS jokes about Republicans and guns and Bibles and all this stuff, and it just was increasingly pathetic. And I think that for comedians in particular, I think that there was a time when someone like Jimmy Kimmel was trying to be funny, like back in the day with Carolla on the Man Show.
Yeah.
Things like that. I think that, he was a comedian. He's not a comedian anymore. So I think that there's a sense from some of them of like tremendous resentment at their present circumstances because they don't want to admit that they've essentially betrayed their craft. I mean, they have given up what they're supposed to really be, which is a source of levity, entertainment, and even insight as comedians. And instead, they just became, as you said, political hitmen.
Let's talk about anxiety. Chances are you, like most of us, have experienced anxiety at one point in your life. If you have, it's no fun. Well, did you know that our dogs can experience anxiety too? That's right, anxiety in dogs is actually much more common than you may think. Luckily, though, there is help. The escape-proof high anxiety dog crate by Impact Dog Crate is the first of a kind dog crate designed specifically for dogs suffering from anxiety. Constructed from heavy-duty aluminum, this crate is built to provide the maximum amount of protection for your anxious pup. I know what you may be thinking. Wouldn't a crate make my dog's anxiety worse? The answer is no. Dogs enjoy having a safe and secure space like a den where they can go and relax and de-stress and not be bothered by anybody, whether it's a kid or you or another dog. I can speak to this personally. I see my dogs go in their crates all the time. We leave the doors open. You're like, where's Thunder? Where's Stred? They're asleep in their crate with the door open. They could be anywhere, but they choose to go in there. The high anxiety dog crate provides just that, and it's even backed up with a 10-year dog damage warranty. Thanks to Impact Dog Crates, dog owners have peace of mind knowing their beloved pups and home are safe. It's a win-win. Go to impactdogcrates.com and enter the code MK to get 15% off your crate. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.